Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. It's Kitty Hate Week. Let's catch you up on the week that was before the showdown. Welcome to the show, 5 Star Fam. I'm AJ. And wherever it is you get your pods, subscribe, share, and leave us a good rating.
This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern.
5 Star Fam, here's your opportunity to support the work with voluntary pledges on Patreon. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/ATLUTDFantv. We have a lot of fun tiers. Join us and check it all out. And we have an exclusive Discord for you as well. Get in there and join us. But let's get into the news. And yes, it's been international, pretty much the international break. And yes, we have a lot of our biggest players away with their international teams. Of course, Miles Robinson, of course, George Bello, Josef Martinez, and Ronaldo Hernandez. And into some of those results, the USA and El Salvador, they drew 0-0. They also USA played Canada to a 1-1 draw. Robinson, he started the match in both of them, and he was able to get a lot of good minutes there, and he's proving why he's deserving those minutes. And also, I think kind of underrated type of player in the grand scheme of the world transfer market. No one's really talking about Miles Robinson, but the feeling is that they should be, because defensively he has been, if not the best defender on the U.S. men's national team in terms of, just defense-wise. I mean, he has been kind of showing out to a lot of other degrees too. But he also, was able to lock up Alphonso Davies a little bit as well. Of course, Alphonso Davies with Bayern Munich, and of course his MLS days is known quite well around the league. But either way, good to see Robinson get some minutes. But also, moving on to Venezuela, we have Josef Martinez. In terms of the actual minutes, he started for Venezuela. He played 67 minutes. Ronaldo Hernandez, he came on as a sub in the second half against Argentina. Argentina unfortunately won 3-1, as they are probably the far more talented side. Unfortunately, Venezuela also lost to Peru, and that in terms of Venezuela, they had a red card in the first half. And they had 10 men on the field. Hernandez got the start right back, and he played a full match. But, there will be a match on the 8th for the U.S. men's national team and the 9th for the Venezuelan national team. So the possibility of them being able to play against Orlando, that will be a thing to remain to be seen. But, it will be quite fun in that regard against Orlando with a shortened squad. But we'll get into that in our match preview later on the show. But getting into some updated transfer rumors, Fabrizio Romano, the transfer guru, he gave an update about Thiago Almeida. Definitely still one for the future, he wrote, and he said, LA United are still planning to sign him in January after the deal collapsed last July due to visa issues. Contacts will restart soon in order to complete the agreement for the next window. Inter-rumors were not true. And so, it looks like Thiago Almeida, talented wonder kid, will still be a transfer target in the winter transfer window. But, do you guys like Thiago Almeida? Do you guys think he would be a good transfer? Obviously, maybe one of our DPs would probably have to go. Or one of the younger DPs maybe would have to be bought down. We'll see. But either way, he's a very talented player. And, should we take a flyer on another kid? that's maybe the thing. That's maybe why a Araujo was brought in. Maybe we get that balance of, kind of the more established talent with the younger wonder kid. But moving on from that, we have a new Atlanta United pup. And unfortunately, of course, Spike, he will no longer be a service dog, and he developed a medical condition that essentially forbids him, on a technicality, from becoming a full-fledged service dog. But he gets to retire early and become just a regular house pet, which ain't too bad either. I mean, to be a dog reincarnated probably wouldn't be too bad, right? But the new ATL UTD pup. There was a poll on Twitter by Atlanta United that pretty much put it to you and put it to us to see who and what the name was going to be for the new pup, and it will be King, aptly named, of course, after Josef Martinez. And the newest addition to the team will be the second pup, and it will be interesting to see how he grows into a service dog, and he is adorable, as you can, as you may have seen already on social media. But, that's kind of why the point is. That's why they're doing it. But it's also, it's a great cause in, pretty much creating some service dogs for some people in need. But let's get into Atlanta United 2. They announced that they had signed last month Johnny Fortune. We had not talked about that, but 18-year-old, 14 starts with Atlanta United 2 since the 2020 season, and definitely a talented kid, deserves the signing for sure. But definitely has played against his brother as well in the league too. But definitely a talented kid, and had his first senior team international call-up with Trinidad and Tobago. But getting into the match that they just played, they won 1-0 against Indy 11. On Saturday night, Aidan McFadden, he scored his team-leading 7th goal from a right back, no less, and this was a rocket. And Ben Lundgaard recorded his second team clean sheet of the season. But, they will return against the Charleston Battery on September 15th. So, let's get into the match preview against Orlando City on Friday. It's at 7 p.m. at the Benz. Hopefully, if they have that roof open, it's going to be a little bit less hot probably at nighttime, but it's still been a scorcher every single time, especially those midday ones where it's just the sun is completely in the supporter section. Lots of people pretty much, extremely exhausted. But getting into Orlando City, we will take them on for the third time in 2021. We have not had a really good time of it against them lately. They're really fighting back on the kind of derby part of this, this rivalry. But last season they definitely had easily their best season, and this season they're doing quite well as well. As high as second, obviously New England Revolution are first. But in terms of Orlando, last season they were eliminated in the conference semifinals by New England Revolution 3-1. They finished fourth in the Eastern Conference last season. Their big signing in Alexandro Pato, who was supposed to replace Daryl Dike, who was on loan, he unfortunately has been injured for most of the season. And in terms of another key acquisition was Silvestri van der Vater, Dutch winger, and already, they had a bunch of good wingers anyway, and now, of course, they've been, with a good rotation of talented wingers in that. But key losses in the offseason, Dom Dwyer, He missed most of the 2020 season with injury, and he took his exit this winter. And Kamal Miller, he departed via the expansion draft to Austin FC, and then quickly was traded to CF Montreal. But yeah, Orlando City, they have a deep and talented central midfield. They have 6 deep collection of wingers, and yeah, it's really at this point now, if with central forward who is going to score, and Daryl Dike being back now from his loan, they have a pretty talented side, and that's pretty annoying, obviously. And pretty much Oscar Pereira, who has pretty much revitalized this whole club, has them playing very, very good ball. But getting into our last 6 against them, we are unfortunately winless. They have 3 wins. We have 0 wins. There's been 3 draws between us, 11 goals to our 5. But they've been in pretty decent form all season. But getting into the players to watch, of course, Nani, the former Manchester United player, and the Portugal star. He has 9 goals and 7 assists so far this season already. And the 34-year-old looks like he has still plenty left in the tank, unfortunately to our chagrin. But also another player to watch is Mauricio Pereira, midfielder for them. He was one of the breakout stars in 2020, and he's having a good season as well. And at Junior de Almeida, or pretty much Junior Urso, he's one of the club's key additions last season, and he's been a good player for them this season as well. But getting into the injuries and availability, out for them is Sebastian Mendez on international duty, of course. Also Pato, like we mentioned, and Pedro Galice on international duty, possibly. But questionable for them, Uri Rosell, Mauricio Pereira, and Andres Pereira as well. They are all questionable. Out for us, Emerson Hyman, of course, with his ACL tear. Out still likely is Mo Adams, but questionable as they have trained this week. Alan Franco Ibarra, Santiago Sosa have all trained a little bit, and Jake Mulroney. But will they take a part? We will see. But and on international duty, Josef Martinez, Ronald Hernandez, Miles Robinson, and George Bello. They, whether they get back in time, it will remain to be seen, essentially. But getting into the predicted starting 11, and for me, it's going to be a really difficult one to pick. I mean, will we go with 3 men in the back? Will we go with 4 men in the back? I think we're going to have to get with a little bit more solidity in the back because our midfield is so light. There's very few players, so we might just have to kind of beef it up with the 3 man at the back. And so for me, the 3 men at the back are Franco, if he is Campbell, if Franco cannot take part, but if not, then Franco is in. I would say also Walks would also be in there. And then Alex DeJohn, unfortunately, maybe we don't really maybe necessarily want to see that as a starter, but either one of Alan Franco or Alex DeJohn would be in there. And then Lennon and Ambrose as the wingbacks, George Bello probably will not be able to take part. In that 2-man midfield, I think I have Sejdic and Marcelino Moreno playing as those two. Moreno's been really, really on fire. He's been a player that has shown that he has the ability to be able to play as one of the 2 central midfielders. And then, that will be the tough part. I mean, we do have Goose, of course, starting between the sticks, but it's gonna be difficult to see who's going to be, up top, as we may not have Josef Martinez. Will we go with false 9? Will we maybe start somebody else? I think, this might tell the tale a little bit. So Jake Mulroney, I think, will get the start if he can take part, and then also Ezequiel Barco as the guys that will be creating from the wing. And then up top, I think we'll have Araujo as our false nine, or maybe as the striker kind of outright, and we'll see what he can do. Obviously, not ideal, but in lieu of not really having a real seasoned guy that can be putting the ball in the back of the net, I think Araujo has been very hungry and wants to score very badly. I think, starting Kubo, maybe not that inspiring. Eric Lopez also hasn't exactly, torn it up as a center forward. And then Jackson Conway maybe just a little too green for this one. So I think Araujo will be our starter at central, as our central striker for this match. But getting into the match facts, there have been under 2.5 goals scored in LA United's past 5 home games, and that's not too great, unfortunately. So it could be a low-scoring match. And in terms of Orlando, they have failed to win their last 9 away matches. So I think it kind of bodes well a little bit. So we'll see what can happen. But let's get into the score prediction then. So I think it's a 1-1 draw. LA United will be fairly fresh, but a little bit depleted. But I think we'll be able to pull out a result against Orlando City. And unfortunately, we will go another season without having beaten Orlando City. But I think this would be a lot better of a result than the alternatives so far this season. But let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments below. But guys, that's pretty much the entire show except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, should Gonzalo Pineda be graded on Friday's match and result, as it is a bit of a wash? He's got a lot of starters out. It's going to be a difficult task in playing the second, the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. But guys, that's the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching.